course.
It's alright. Little darling, the smiles return into their faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Sun, 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 here it comes. 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 Sun, 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 here it comes.
Little darling, I feel that ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, I say it's alright. It's alright.
Thank you, choir and orchestra. House, please come to order. House, please come to order. To begin the opening ceremony, we would like to invite our high school principal, Ms. Benton, to the stage to give a few words.
Thank you very much. Welcome to Overseas Families School and our 11th Model United Nations Conference. It's heartwarming to see so many students are gathered here together for our weekend of debate and hopefully resolutions. It's a pleasure to have all of the visiting schools, 17 I believe, here, and I hope you enjoy your time on our campus. You all have your reasons for joining MUN. I'm not sure if you have given much thought to that. Why did you join? My challenge is it only about you? Or are you here for the long haul, to the end of high school, in university, and in your future jobs? All through every MUN conference, you debate issues that confront our planet and people of every nation. Will you carry your optimism with you and make change happen, insist on change when you are finally in a position to make things happen? Model United Nations is just that. It's a model. It's not the real thing. But over this weekend, consider what you are learning from other delegates. Consider ways forward that incorporate others' opinions and needs, not just your own or that of the one country that you may have been allocated to represent. Take that knowledge and be willing to transfer it from a theoretical conference like this, where you represent a country not your own, to what you and your country could do for the good of everyone in the future. I wish you a highly successful, thought-provoking and enjoyable conference.
Thank you, Ms. Benton. Now we would like to invite the Secretary General for the conference, Ayushi Garg, to give us a few words.
Dear delegates, student officers, principals, teachers, school admin, and esteemed guests and directors, my name is Ayushi Garg, and it is my utmost pleasure to be serving as the Secretary General for the 11th Annual Model United Nations Conference at Overseas Family School. Over the past year, our executive, student officer team, and admin team have been preparing hard to create a successful conference over the next 2 days. We started off as only a group of 175 participants in our first conference back in 2007. Now we have over 500 participants in this conference. Over the last 11 years, Model United Nations has provided us students with the opportunity to have a say in our future and impact the lives of our generation positively. It has provided us with a platform to not only ensure our development in terms of improving our public speaking skills and helping to overcome our nerves, to making us team players and being more passionate and guiding our interests, but also the ability to attempt to find solutions to the issue that we care about. This year's theme for this conference is international migration. Migrants number more than 250 million around the world. They make up 3% of the global GDP. Yet, more than 60,000 people on the move have died since the 2000s, at sea, in the desert, and elsewhere. And often migrants and refugees are demonized and attacked. If migration is inevitable, it needs to be better organized through effective international cooperation among countries of origin, transit, and destinations, so that we do not leave control of movements of people in the hands of smugglers and traffickers. Countries have the right and even the responsibility to determine their own migration policies and to responsibly manage their borders. But they must do so in full respect of their human rights. And as we know, not everybody moves voluntarily in search of a better life. More than 68 million people have been forcibly displaced by armed conflict and persecution, the most since the Second World War. Let us recall that the vast majority of the world's refugees are hosted in developing countries that themselves face constraints. This responsibility must be shared globally. Whether we look at the displaced Rohingyas or the Syrian refugees, we see a similar pattern of mistreatment and infringement of human rights. I hope, regardless of the topic you are focusing on, you're able to contribute to a fruitful and constructive debate in order to create solutions that might help make our world a better place for our present and our future. I believe all of you can make a difference in this world and work together to create a better future for everyone. Although the topics are different between committees, we strive towards the same goal, to develop solutions to today's problems. And while these solutions may seem hypothetical to you now, they can be put to practice over the next however many years by you. On that note, I wish you all the best of luck and hope you have an incredible conference. Now, my Deputy Secretary Generals and I would like to recognize the 48 student officers down after all the names from your committee have been called. Apologies. Student officers, please remain standing after your name is called and sit down after all the names from your committee have been called on. We apologize in advance if we mispronounce any names. Delegates, please hold your applause until all student officers have been called.
From General Assembly 1, we have Head Chair Isha Sharan from OFS, Deputy Chair Lydia Nabila van Soysterbergen from TTS, Deputy Chair Azmi Shukla from OFS. Please rise. From General Assembly 3, we have Head Chair Sarah Mentes from SAIS, Deputy Chair Sunaina Borkar from OFS, and Deputy Chair Ruhan Jayal from OFS. From the Human Rights 1 Committee, we have Head Chair Jinying Wang from UWC East, Deputy Chair Arola Ajegbe from TTS, Deputy Chair Roberta Abigail Bilsland from OFS. From the Human Rights 2 Committee, we have Head Chair Anya Arora from UWC East. We have Deputy Chair Adil Farouk from SAS, Deputy Chair Gurmeher Kaur from OFS. From Environment Committee, we have Head Chair Valentine Doan Bauvi from LFS, Deputy Chair Aditya Anil from OFS, and Deputy Chair Aaron Smith from CIS.
Delegates, please hold your applause till all student officers have been called. From Special Conference, we have Head Chair Shunwei Yao from NCPA, the Deputy Chair Akhil Venkatesh from SAIS, and Deputy Chair Raghav Vivek Anand from OFS. Delegates, please be reminded to hold your applause till the end. From ECOSOC 1, we have Ananya Shriramagopalan from UWC East, Deputy Chair Ritashi Verma from OFS, and Deputy Chair Dantel Ciccone from GEMS. From ECOSOC 2, we have Parik Shaswat from CIS, Deputy Chair Shaivi Rajesh from UWC Dover, and Deputy Chair Ritwik Varma from OFS. From UNESCO, we have Head Chair Emma Stuka from German European, Deputy Chair Arun Kukreja from UWC Dover, and Deputy Chair Shreya Bhagwatava from OFS. From Sustainable Development, we have Head Chair Atarif Shetty from OFS, Deputy Chair Mark McMahon from SAIS, and Deputy Chair Anata Chaudhry from UWC Dover.
From Security Council, we have Head Chair Emily Bouvelet, Deputy Chair Aditya Naresh Narsiman from CIS, and Ria Oliver Singh from OFS. From Disarmament, we have Head Chair Paul Satru Dupa from CIS. We have Deputy Chair Gautam Balusubramaniam from OFS. From CIS, we have Pratnam Ranjan. From Advisory Panel, we have Head Chair Ian Michael Lee Narona from UWC East, Deputy Chair Rubab Khan from OFS, Arsh Sinha from SAS.
Hello?
Thank you, orchestra and choir. Now we would like to invite our keynote speaker, Mr. Eric Paulson. Mr. Paulson is the MUN director at Concordia International School, Shanghai. He has done some wonderful work starting MUN conferences in Mexico and Ghana. Mr. Paulson formerly served as the co-director of ASEMAN in Cairo, Egypt, and Panaman in Panama City. Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Eric Paulson.
Boy, that choir's a tough act to follow. Well done. And the orchestra. Good evening. Madam Secretary General, Mr. Taylor and Ms. Benton, student officers, delegates, teachers, and guests. If you followed the news in recent weeks, you probably know about the caravan of international migrants slowly making its way north from Central America. Now, they started in Honduras, they've come through Guatemala, now they're in Mexico, and they're heading for the United States. Now, once they get there, if they get there, a lot of these people hope to gain asylum, remain in America, and build new lives for themselves and their children. Now, the story of this caravan is an instructive tale. Why it exists, how it's depicted in the media, and how it seems to inspire brainless tweeting from the idiot president of the United States. But what's happening in Mexico is part of a much larger story. What's happening in Mexico is part of a much larger story, and it offers a window on the larger problem facing immigrants, refugees, and asylum seekers all over the world. Now let's start with the politics. The timing of the caravan is unfortunate because it's hitting the headlines right as Americans are getting ready to go to the polls next week in their midterm elections. Now, the moron in the White House loves the caravan. Now, he won't tell you that. He's pretending that he hates the caravan. He calls it a national emergency, but he loves the caravan. And the reason he loves the caravan is because he knows that refugees are wonderful scapegoats. And the poorer they are and the browner their skin, the more he can exploit them to rile up the base and get votes from people who are as stupid and racist as he is. The caravan is just another chance to trot out all the usual accusations about immigrants. Immigrants are gang members and drug dealers. Immigrants are destroying Western culture by failing to assimilate. Immigrants just come to our countries to crank out babies. Immigrants are lazy, and they just want to soak up the social welfare systems in the United States and Europe. Now, none of this is really true, but I want to address that last point in particular. Immigrants are lazy? The last time I checked, the immigrants that I'm talking about were walking from Honduras to the United States of America. Do you have any idea how far that is? That's pretty much the opposite of lazy. If you want to understand the magnitude of this feat, get up tomorrow, swim to Malaysia, and then walk north until you're in China. That's essentially what they're doing. I mean, how can you not be impressed by that? If I was like the human resources director at some company, and one of these Honduran migrants came to me for a job interview, I'd ask her, now, is there anything you've done recently that, I don't know, shows exceptional initiative or maybe perseverance and commitment to a goal? And she'd be like, well, yeah, I just walked here from Honduras. I mean, who wouldn't totally hire someone like that? But what's scary, the demonization of migrants is based on lies and exaggeration. It still seems to be working. There's a clear correlation between the increasing numbers of immigrants and the increasing popularity of far-right political parties. We've seen this in Hungary, we've seen it in Poland, even in Sweden of all places. And all these demagogues are pushing the same narrative. We are drowning in immigrants. They're different from us, they don't belong, you should be afraid, you should be angry, and you should vote for us because only we can save you. I also worry that fear of migrants and refugees will become a self-fulfilling prophecy in both the United States and Europe. We worry about radicalism among immigrant populations, but we don't appear to realize that the best way to radicalize an immigrant population is to consign them to second-class status, let them know they're hated, feared, and unwelcome, and to treat them with suspicion and contempt. That works every single time. I think the reason that right-wing propaganda is proving so effective is partly the result of the social media environment in which all of you are coming of age. Bad news travels fast, but fake news, they say, travels at the speed of Facebook. Now, in the U.S., no one spews a more steady stream of lies than our president, but the problem is more than his Twitter feed. The problem with the internet is that it magnifies every grievance and gives a mouthpiece to every nut job with a smartphone and a Facebook account. There have always been racists and nativists and neo-Nazis. Well, not always. I mean, there weren't any neo-Nazis until after we had regular Nazis, but we mostly just thought they were stupid, and we ignored them, and they had very little impact on the tone and content of our civil discourse. Then came the internet, and they found each other. Now they travel in packs. They have Gab and 4chan and Stormfront, and they all hang out in virtual space. They reinforce each other's biases, and they push each other to become the best racist, sexist, anti-Semitic homophobes they can possibly be. And they hide behind the anonymity of the internet, and they can say whatever they want, because who's to say anymore what's true and what isn't true? Truth is just the loudest voice in the room. Truth is the post that gets the most likes. It's no coincidence that the guy who sent the mail bombs last week in the U.S. and the shooter in the Pittsburgh synagogue both spent their days wallowing in the fever swamps of the internet, marinating themselves in the racist bile spewed out by their peers. And when anti-immigrant rants start on 4chan, move to Facebook, and eventually find their way to Fox News, we normalize what used to be abnormal, and a group of tired, scared, vulnerable Central American refugees becomes a menace. They become a mob, a conspiracy, an invasion. And when they reach Texas, if eventually they do, they should rightfully be met with kindness and compassion, and by doctors, nutritionists, social workers. Instead, my idiot president is sending the army. The Honduran caravan is instructive in another way. It casts in sharp relief the power of the forces that are driving people from their communities. I mean, people don't get up and abandon their homes without a really good reason, whether those homes are in Honduras or Guatemala, Mali, Niger, Syria, Afghanistan, or anywhere else. That's especially true when they know the migration is going to be dangerous, and thousands of international migrants die in transit each year, and when they know the future is uncertain. So there must be some powerful reason why so many people are willing to take this chance. There isn't a powerful reason. Actually, there are many powerful reasons. I mean, every country and region has a unique story, but there are clear commonalities. The threat of violence, resource competition, extreme poverty, political repression, population growth, and now climate change. And what makes this refugee crisis so intractable is that all these issues are mutually reinforcing, and many of them are growing in magnitude. As population grows, so does competition for resources, which leads to greater poverty and increases the odds of civil conflict. All of these things create more refugees and migrants and asylum seekers, and that means more extreme nationalism in Europe and the United States. Worse, all of this is happening at a time when rising temperatures are slowly making the tropics uninhabitable. There may come a time when we wistfully look back on the days when the caravans only came one at a time, and they had thousands of people instead of tens of thousands of people. It's sort of like how Americans get all nostalgic for the glory days when our biggest problem was George Bush. However, none of this means that we should give up. It means we should try harder. And despite the size of the challenges we face, there is room for optimism. I'm encouraged in part by some recent studies that show an inverse relationship between anti-immigration sentiment and the scope and frequency of actual contacts with immigrants. In other words, when people see immigrants as a faceless mob, their feelings are strongly negative. But when they meet individual immigrants, they learn their names, see their faces, and hear their stories. It softens their hearts and their attitudes begin to shift. The other reason for optimism, the greatest reason for optimism, is the coming of age of your generation. As I look out at you this evening and as I think about my own students back in Shanghai, I'm inspired by your energy and your activism, your desire to join your peers and take on the issues that challenge us. And I think your generation has some unique gifts. You were born into a transformative era, arguably one of the most transformative eras in human history, so you're not afraid of change. I mean, for your generation, change is the way it's always been. Change is the only constant. And that's so important because fear of change is what makes us build walls and turn away the stranger. I also think your generation is more tolerant than mine. You're far less concerned about who is black or white, Jew or Gentile, gay or straight. Your tolerance for diversity is exactly what a world full of refugees is going to need. Now this weekend, and beyond this weekend, I want you to remember that the central challenge posed by international migration isn't to stop the flow of migrants, or round them up, or even to repatriate them. Even if these were desirable outcomes, they're not going to happen. Now, of course, we should address root causes, but we must also shelter the immigrants in their journeys, feed and clothe them, bind their wounds, treat their illnesses, and then hear their appeals, and transform our culture so that refugees can be welcomed and valued for their unique contributions. And if we're going to succeed in this, we have to remember that when we talk about migrants and refugees, what we're really talking about are people. Individuals with names and faces and stories. Don't debate this topic in the abstract. Don't talk about migrants like they're some amorphous mass, and don't focus on numbers so large that they're meaningless. Zoom into street level and talk about individuals. Talk about Amanda Jimenez, who's 73 years old and fleeing Honduras because 4 of her children have been killed by gangs. Talk about Mauricio Gonzalez, who's walking on crutches from Honduras to the United States because he only has one working leg. Talk about Roxana Oriano, who's pushing a 2-year-old in a stroller for 3,000 kilometers as she drags her exhausted body toward the vision of a better life. And talk about Axel Palacios Molina, a Nicaraguan who was shot in the leg and partially paralyzed during a political protest last year. He's 14 years old. The same age as my son, the same age as some of you. Because when we learn their stories, when we see their faces, then they're no longer a mob and they're no longer a menace. They're not even international migrants. They're just people who need our help. And if we're going to help them, if the UN and its member states are going to positively impact the lives of all these people, the key ingredient isn't more funding or legal reform or better leadership or well-crafted resolutions. All those things are important. But we won't get any of those things until we find something within ourselves that's far more important. Empathy, humility, basic human kindness. Now, I firmly believe that MUN can be a starting point for cultivating those virtues and setting you on a path of service to others, and I hope that MUNOFS lights a fire in you that's never going to go out. I hope you see in your participation this weekend as one early step in a very long journey, and in that early step, and in that very long journey, I wish you every success. Thank you. Oh, right now, or do I come back? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Paulson. We would now like to present Mr. Paulson with the ceremonial gavel.
Look at this. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Oh wait, and we need to do the bang,
The what?
the opening the ceremony.
Oh.
Just to bang it. Okay, so I'll just like say what I need to say and then we bang together.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So, on that note, we would like to announce the 11th Annual MUNOFS Conference at Overseas Family School officially open.
Oh, hold on. Everyone, please take a seat. Please take a seat for now. Please take a seat for now. All right, so the vegetarian food is on the left. The vegetarian food is closest to the doors. The Western food is at the back of the room, and the Asian food is near the windows. You may go now, enjoy your dinner. Oh my. Like a bunch of flies running around. Everyone's hungry. So you should turn this microphone. Sure.
Broken glass on the carpet floor, carpet floor. Selfish hands always wanting more, always wanting more. So young when the pain begun, and now the secrets have come undone. You don't know me, and you cannot see what the pain has done to me. You own me, I won't. I'll judge you, I don't make a big deal of it. 'Cause you're mad at me, yeah, you're mad at me. Make a big deal of this. I don't care 'cause you're bliss. I don't want to know more. I don't care for this, no. You don't know what you're waiting for, waiting for. Baby, I'm a revolution now, revolution now. I run away from the chains tonight. Don't get close or I will bite. You don't know me, and you cannot see what the pain has done to me. You own me, I won't. I'll judge you, I don't make a big deal of it. 'Cause you're mad at me, yeah, you're mad at me. Make a big deal of this. I don't care 'cause you're bliss. I don't want to know more. I don't care for this, no. You own me, I won't. I'll judge you, I don't make a big deal of it. 'Cause you're mad at me, yeah, you're mad at me. Make a big deal of this. I don't care 'cause you're bliss. I don't want to know more. I don't care for this, no. just find the right words to say. Would you stay right there? I like you right there. Stay where you are, safe in a frame. Try to move closer, you'll only get halfway. Pin down your heart, put out the flame. Don't come any closer, but don't move away. Stay where you are, safe in a frame. Try to move closer, you'll only get halfway. Pin down your heart, put out the flame. Don't come any closer, but don't move away. Stay. Hello? Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't. falling in love. Would it be a sin if I can't help falling in love with you? Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Oh, take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you, for I can't help falling in love with you.
Number 1 on, please.
Hello, hello. son. Yeah.
It's not simple to say. Most days I don't recognize me, that these shoes and this apron, that place and its patrons have taken more than I gave them. It's not easy to know I'm not anything like I used to be, although it's true, was never attention sweet center. I still remember that girl. She's imperfect, but she tries. She is good, but she lies. She is hard on herself. She is broken, won't ask for help. She is messy, but she's kind. She is lonely most of the time. She is all of this mixed up, baked in a beautiful pie. She is gone, but she used to be mine. It's not what I asked for. Sometime life just slips in through a back door, carves out a person, makes you believe it's all true. Now I got you. You're not what I asked for. If I'm honest, I know I'd give it all back for a chance to start over, rewrite an ending or two for that girl that I knew who'd be reckless just enough, who gets hurt but who learns how to toughen up when she's bruised and gets used by a man who can't love. Then she'll get stuck and be scared of life that's inside her, stronger each day, till it finally reminds her to fight just a little, to bring back the fire in her eyes. Used to be in a beautiful pie. She is gone. She used to be
fact merely meant to grow me. How could someone love me when in fact they don't know me? They want my royal treasure. When all is said and done, it's time for a desperate measure. So I wonder, why shouldn't I fly so far from here? I know the girl I might become here, sad and confined and always locked behind these
Hello. Okay, there we go. That's a bit too loud.
1 2 1 2.
This is hi. Hi. Hello. Literally everyone's leaving. What? I don't. Okay.
1 2 1 2.
Well, you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go.
been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go. And you let her go.
Staring at the bottom of your glass.
Dreams come slow and they go so fast. You see it when you fall asleep, but never to touch it, never to keep. Cause you loved it too much and you dive too deep. You lie when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home.
Only know you love her when you let her go.
Only know you've been high
When you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go.
staring at the ceiling in the dark. Same old empty feeling in your heart. Love comes slow, but it goes so fast.
See you when you fall asleep, but never to touch and never to keep.
Cause you loved it too much and you
Dive
dive
too deep.
feeling low. Only hate
It's the
the
sun
road.
when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go.
Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go. And you let her go. Let her go.
And you let her go.
No singing, no.
Test, test. Test. When the night is cold and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't shed a tear just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me, stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me, stand by me. You're in trouble, won't you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me, stand by me.
Hello, Ty. No, I'm good. Yeah. This is fine. Oh, it hurts the most 'cause I don't know the cause. Maybe I shouldn't have cried when you left and told me not to wait. Oh, it kills the most to say that I still care. Now I'm left trying to rewind the times you held and kissed me back. I wonder if you're thinking, is she alright all alone? I wonder if you tried to call but couldn't find your phone. Have I ever crossed your thoughts because your name's all over mine? A moment in time, don't watch me cry. A moment in time, don't watch me cry. I'm not crying 'cause you left me on my own. I'm not crying 'cause you left me with no warning. I'm just crying 'cause I can't
I can do is let my heart bleed. Oh, it's harder when you can't see through the thoughts. Not that I wanna get in, but I want to see how your mind works. No, it's harder when they don't know what they've done. And thinking it's better they leave, meaning that I'll have to move on. I wonder if you're thinking, is she alright all alone? I wonder if you tried to call but couldn't find your phone. Have I ever crossed your thoughts because your name's all over mine? A moment in time, don't watch me cry. A moment in time, don't watch me cry. I'm not crying 'cause you left me on my own. I'm not crying 'cause you left me with no warning. I'm just crying 'cause I can't escape what could have been. Are you aware when you set me free? All I can do is let my heart bleed.
Hello? This is all filled with my friends, so I bounced it. Thank you. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Ain't no sunshine when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. Wonder this time where she's gone. Wonder if she's gonna stay. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. And I know, 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 I know. I had to leave the young thing alone, but ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Ain't no sunshine when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. This house just ain't no home anytime she goes away. Anytime she goes away. Anytime she goes away.